the good ones.
Yeah.
After you get the mid control, how effective are you going to make those splits come out? How effective are you going to make that B split,
Absolutely.
a boost into snipers, etc., etc. But that's what we're going to have on our hands in a little bit, huh? On
Yeah,
Mirage.
should be jumping into this game any second now as the players ready up on the server. The question straight up, Nick, can Goliath Gaming do it on Mirage?
Look, I really want to say they can, but as you said, history.
Yeah.
It's just not in Goliath's favor. We saw them get ever so close on Vertigo in the past and on Inferno, which we saw just a little bit ago. But will they get past it on Mirage? I'm going to say no, but as much as I want to say yes, unfortunately, I think ATK are just the better side on the server at this stage.
The enthusiast in you, though, wants us to have a super close series, so if you want to see Goliath win this, it's not like you're coming from a biased perspective, because a whole lot of times people will be like, oh my god, did he just say that he wants Goliath Gaming? No, of course not. We just want to see a close game, and that's exactly, I couldn't agree with you more. But like I said, often Mirage comes down to the individual skill in the server. Goliath Gaming have plenty of individual skill.
Definitely, especially if you look at the players on their server. ADM was absolutely popping off last game. I rate Massacre is probably one of the best riflers in South Africa. The other players, they don't really need an introduction. We know what Canny's done.
Yeah.
We know what Zip Zip can do and what Adaro can do.
Yeah.
When you speak about individual prowess, you look at possibly the 10 best players in South Africa. I would go as far as to say, you could say that these 10 are possibly 10 of the best 15 or 10 of the best 20 in the country. So talking about individual talent and Mirage being a map predicated off those individual duels over towards ramp, over towards middle, over towards B apps, it's definitely something to keep in mind. ATK are not lacking that, and the same can be said about Goliath. Even though it is ATK's pick, you never know what Goliath have got in store.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, against any other team in South Africa, Goliath would feel comfortable on Mirage, right? It's just that it is ATK. The one interesting thing is that ATK picked Mirage in this series, which they don't normally do. Normally we see Mirage, they just say like they float it, they're happy if other teams pick it. They decide they prefer to go for their nukes, their overpasses, as well as a very strong map of theirs. So the fact that they picked Mirage here is quite interesting, because both nuke and overpass were still in the pool. And I think it was more of a fact that Goliath are weaker on Mirage than they are on nuke and overpass. So ATK are saying, well then why don't we just go over there?
Yeah, exactly. And one map you didn't actually allude to, which is their Vertigo, which as of recent, we've been speaking about how close they've been getting. Over in the Soldiers of Fortune tournament that's passed the past weekend, it got closer and closer. 16-5, then 16-13, then past or 16-14, be there as it may. In the past week in ESEA, 16-14 was the map, and that was all off a Blaze 1v3 partial Bly with the Deagle. So ATK, they say, listen, we'll leave Vertigo out there. You guys can pick it if you want, but we're going to pick our Mirage, and I think that's something to keep in mind. Obviously, as you said, their overpass, their nuke is definitely something to keep an eye on. But we're already 2 rounds in.
Oh, we are indeed. It looks like they've started before the gun has shot, Nick. It's a false start, but this isn't athletics, so it doesn't matter. They don't come back. They continue. And Goliath Gaming, they've gotten off to a good start here on their CT side. They're up 2-0, and it's a 2 versus 2. It's all about the 2s right now, as ATK trying to secure control on the A bomb side. There is already rotations though from Goliath. They have the player in connector. They have the player in CT. Does Slowy anticipate an ADM on the stairs? He gets dealt with. Now it's on Massacre's shoulders. He peeks on top of Ticket Box. He's able to get the kill, and he gets back through the smoke, leaving Blaze in the 1 versus 1. And Massacre is immediately repositioning himself towards jungle.
Yeah, Blaze is planted over towards triple, which allows for him to reposition over towards ramp, where the post plant can come in, but Massacre could catch him in transition. There's a flash on Blaze which would allow for that to come through when the bomb is tapped. The question is, will Massacre even get that far? Massacre is going to clean up in connector, and Blaze, is he going for the full 180?
Oh, there's no time though.
He's lining up a flash. What is Blaze doing?
No, there's no time. He's lost the round.
What?
He overthought this one. He absolutely overthought it, and the diffuser's been stuck, and Massacre has won the round. Unfortunate for Blaze, because if it worked out, it would have been the ingenious decision, but in the end, it doesn't actually come to fruition. Goliath Gaming winning that all-important first gun round and go up 3-0.
I think Blaze knew it, right? He went through Palace, just started walking, and then when the bomb got defused, he just stood there. And I think Blaze knew that he probably overthought it, but be there as it may, that's not going to be something that's going to be keeping in your mind. If you're a level player at this level, you're 3-0 down, you're 1 map up, and ATK, they're going to look to post the first, but ADM, he's going to get the first in the round as he takes out Mistim over towards top of middle, and this was a full investment from both sides. The rounds prior seem to be relatively close looking at the economy from Goliath, but the early man advantage does go the way of Goliath in the round.
Yeah. Goliath Gaming would love to get across the line in this round. They've got no money in the bank, Nick, so if they lose this, they can't buy up in the next. And that's all because of the amount of damage ATK did in the previous round. And Fady opens things up towards ramp. He's going to continue to be a force to be reckoned with on this part of the map. He's able to get Kanye as well, and he gets out alive. That was a textbook hold there from Fady, and he's drawn all the attention towards ramp. Great awareness there from Slowy to realize he can push through in that moment. All in the meanwhile, the pillar blaze is just being composed, making sure that everybody's backs are covered. And that was just a classic ATK round right there. Fady finds the timing, he swings out ramp, gets 2 picks, as nonchalant as you like, and then Slowy immediately capitalizing off of that.
That's exactly what you were saying pre-game, right? These games, these rounds, the way that go ATK's way is predicated off Fady activating towards ramp. In that case, he gets 1. He stays around a bit too long, but he gets his 2nd, and he's able to get out, pull all the information. Slowy gets a player, shoots a player in the back of the head, and ATK posts there first. And we're going to see more of that going into the half, but it is going to be a 4-player setup over towards B. Apps from ATK, 1 player over towards middle, that being Fady. He's going to throw out the mid-util, and he's going to catch ADM, dabbing, full blind, as the B hit does come in, and the only player here is Adaro with the CZ in hand. And watching it in slow motion, but Slowy, he's able to get the double entry, you know, as easy as you like.
Yeah, this is a full force, by the way, as well, so don't get it twisted. Goliath invested everything they had into this round, and they haven't even found a frag yet, Nick.
Oh, and Blaze, he's going to finish out Canyon, out Zips up with the purchased FAMAS in the previous round. I mean, in this round, he was the only player to force up a rifle, and that's not going to be allowed to be saved. He is able to take out Mistim in the meantime, but it just seems to be easy pickings for ATK. It is going to be a full eco, I would assume, from Goliath. Maybe a flashbang can be brought up on Zipzip. Maybe that could be something to keep an eye on out in the round, but it is 2 rounds going the way of ATK, 3 to that of Goliath. But the one important thing is the fact that ATK were able to win out Goliath's map pick 16-14. That was Inferno.
Yeah.
And we're now on Mirage.
Yeah, and it's a full eco for Goliath, so ATK looking to level up the scoreline. The one challenge for Goliath in this map is that there's no easy side. Straight up. It's not like it's a nuke or a train where the CT side is super favored. ATK can do just as much damage on the T side as they can on the CT side. So it's going to be an uphill battle throughout the entirety of this match.
Yeah, I think if you look at a map in the pool right now and you look at Mirage, it's literally like 49-51. That's how close it is. Like, you can't really say that if you finish like 10-5 on the CT side, you don't have that fallback of saying, oh, well, you know, T sides are generally better on this map. Like, you don't have that sort of fallback if you're Goliath. So you got to be posting those good rounds in the first half, and they found themselves even pickings once more. 3-all is the score, and 4 USPs will be saved into the next round, either as main, not much real estate in the meantime, but missed him. He wants the real estate of $900 per kill, and he's going to try push the issue. Zipzip, he's going to take him out. But that was just the Mac 10, not really much to go into next round. However, if Slowy does lose this, oh, he misses the Zeus, does Caddy, and Slowy's going to do a bit of shots in the body. Zips up, he's got the Mac 10, but Blaze, he's not even going to let him save that.
Yeah, so a bit of extra cash racked up there with Mistim's Mac 10 before he goes down. His first 2 kills on the board, as well as the scores are level 3-3, and it's going to be the double save for Goliath. So this should be ATK pulling ahead for the first time on Raj, which doesn't spell a beautiful picture for Goliath, does it? Because considering they're going up against ATK on a map as strong as Mirage is for them, you really want to get off to a good start to put them off on the back foot early and force them into some awkward positions, right?
Yeah, definitely. And it's not an easy read if you're Goliath and you're going to fall down to ATK, but they are able to actually make Doru fall down into the grave as ADM and Adaro chime in for that frag on towards Doru in the early round, and a good nade could deal some decent damage over towards Mister, but...
You jinxed it.
I did jinx it, you know.
Mister heard you. Oh, good nade, what?
As one does, but it's a 4v5 push mid-round, and ATK are going to take real estate over towards A. There are 2 players low on HP, so these deagles could be especially potent. One is the Scout and Massacre, so this round could go bad to worse for ATK.
Oh, the spray
but Fady and Slowy,
clean,
as easy as you like, going to make the round pretty much solidified for the side of ATK, but you never know what a dollar and ADM can get done, especially with a salvage rifle. And never mind, what salvage rifle?
Well, Blaze goes down and missed him, or rather Slowy only has 12 health left here, so if Adaro can land some quick shots and turn this into a 1v1, it certainly is doable. He's got 2 flashes, he has armor, no kit though, but already the crossfire has been set up by ATK. Slowy doesn't have to move a muscle, his job is to just make sure there's no aggression coming from stairs, and he catches Adaro with his back turned to him. So 4-3 is now the score in favor of ATK.
Ooh, double AWP setup purchased right away. ADM and Canny going to be purchasing up both of those. The question is where they're going to choose to go. There's no real mid spawn to make the cat jump or to hold for the mid aggression. So I would assume one's just going to post over towards upper B and possibly the other one's going to post towards CT. But it is actually going to be the former, Canny, posting. Oh, he made the catch up anyway. It doesn't matter what spawn he has. But a decent flash comes in, but he doesn't get the frag. Slowy, he's still going to push the issue. Canny's going to retreat.
Oh my god, Toru and Slowy just continuing to hold W, and I don't think they're going to be stopping either, Nick. They're just charging towards this B bomb site like a shark in the water. They smell the blood and they want to get the job done. Slowy landing another shot. He's 12 for 3 right now, looking to add another kill to his count, while Fady also needs to get a job done here from apartments. His teammate's been taken down, but still it is an even numbers situation on this bomb site. All in the meanwhile, Mistim's been lurking through middle. He's been able to activate and he lands a nice clean shot there onto Zip as well. The all-important gun round goes the way of ATK, and this is a 5-round win streak which looks like it could start snowballing out of control.
Yeah, without a doubt, it could definitely start snowballing. And as you said, ATK, we saw it in the previous map, right? As soon as they get the wheels rolling, the odds of you stopping them are going to be monumental, to say the least. I wasn't going to use the G word in the pun there. I'm not going to go that far, but it's monumental. ATK, they posted 5 without response, and there's going to be a partial buy coming out from Goliath and play towards lowers once again coming out. But it does look like ATK have definitely got a firm standing in this round.
Come on, Nick, you know our rule about puns. You're allowed to use one per map. You haven't used it just yet, or you're keeping it in the back pocket to bring it out later. Okay.
I'll unzip my bag of puns.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
As long as that's the only thing you're unzipping, then that'll be fine.
Not really much to write home about this round. So.
Just the eco. Mr. Farming some frags here, just boosting his confidence a little bit. But you can see the one thing that Goliath are doing a bit better on the CT side than what they did on Inferno is they're finding frags, Nick. They're actually putting Goliath into, or rather ATK into some like 2 versus 2, 3v2 positions. Whereas on the CT side of Inferno, they couldn't really force ATK into that awkward position. So looking better from Goliath here on their CT side, but that only really matters when you win rounds, because that's when you can capitalize on the economic damage that's been done. So heading into the next gun round, it's vital that Goliath start finding some traction on the CT side.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's all good and well winning out each 1v1 that you can post and say, oh, but guys, it's fine. You know, we killed 4 of them.
Yeah.
Their economy's not good. But the fact is that they posted around and you didn't.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if you're ATK, you've posted 6, Goliath have posted 3, and yes, you made the rounds expensive, but you've got to start capitalizing on them. And the previous buy rounds, the anti-ecos that ATK have faced, they've been faring well. I mean, Fady, he's on max cash. Is this casual? He's on max cash. You know, like Doru, he's on 7,000. Blaze is on ATK.
Okay, well that kind of dispels what I was saying about Goliath keeping their economy in check, because these guys have got mad money behind them right now.
Mad cash money.
Yeah. They're going to be able to buy up for a couple of rounds. And the problem is, with the way that the economy works in CS now, is you get quite a significant round loss bonus when you lose consecutive rounds. So they're going to be able to pretty much continue to buy for the rest of this half, because either they're winning and they're getting money, or they're losing and they're getting round loss bonus.
Exactly.
So such a tough round or situation Goliath find themselves now to try and get back in the CT side. The economy is screwed. There's no two ways about it. Definitely something that needs to be resolved from Valve's point of view. It's so tough to make comebacks in the modern day of Counter-Strike just because of the way the economy works. And look at the hits. It's going to come towards the B bomb side. I love this execute from ATK. They already have Blaze forward in the apartments, and he's going to be jumping through the window looking to find the entries. He catches Massacre off, but there are still 2 players here from Goliath, but it doesn't matter because Blaze is the Inferno on Mirage, and he's doing all the damage.
Yeah, 100%. Blaze, he's blazing hot. He's firing up, and that entry pathing for any of you who are new, that is the entry pathing you want to take if you're entering into the B bomb site. You jump out the window, you want to swing as wide left as possible, you're clearing out back empty pillar, the play over towards jail's pretty much in no man's land, you get free kills, the McDonald's smokes come in, you're completely shrouded from Cat, and Slowy, he's going to make ADM pay for dwelling around in the A bomb sites, and ATK are going to post a 7th, and they're not even going to let Goliath save.
Jesus. These guys are on another level right now, Nick. ATK are looking so clean, cool, calm, composed, whatever word you can come up with. They are looking really, really solid right now. That's 7 consecutive rounds for them. And look at that change of pace in the previous round. just go for the B hits. They know how important the gun round is for Goliath. Goliath even had the double AWP, so it's the perfect play to counter the double AWP because you don't give those AWPs any chance to get into the round.
Exactly, yeah. You don't entertain them over towards A ramp or over towards middle, stuff like that. So if you just go back to the stock standard B execute, you're going to win out the round. And now they're just going to go back to stock standard A execute. They're going to wait for the contact to come in, then let the smokes come in. And there's no CT smoke, which means it is going to be taken by the side of ATK. Yes, there's no CT smoke. You're going to flash in. You're going to take that area of the map. And Adaru, he should only be good for one theoretically, but on the Deagle spam, it is only one that he's good for. Canny and Masker left in a 2v4 situation. And it doesn't look like Goliath have got much to write home about. It's going to be 8-3 rather. So it is going to be interesting to see what happens. And Slowy, he gets one in the round. Dory gets two. And ATK, they're pretty much in all sort of standpoints for the next round, and that's prompted a timeout coming out from Goliath. And what we've seen so far this map is just ATK with that straight up aggressive playstyle. They're just taking the fights to Goliath, and when they don't, they just go back to stock standard executes, and it's working out perfectly for them all the time. It's 8-3. They found themselves 8 in a row, and Goliath are unable to respond rather.
What do you even do differently? How do Goliath, what setup do they bring to the fray here? Maybe they try and take middle control early on to see if they can, force ATK back and separate the attack. Maybe they get the information so they can prepare a bit better on the bomb site, but it doesn't really matter because ATK, they're just popping heads at the moment, Nick.
Yeah, fact. ATK are just popping heads, and the same could be said about Slowy. He's 15-5. He's warm. He hasn't started off slow into this one. And Fady, he's definitely going to try to get something done over towards the middle.
Guys, we do apologize about the slight drop in FPS. It's certainly something we're aware of and are working on at the moment to resolve as quickly as we can. But the Counter-Strike on display right now is negating that somewhat for sure as ADM is able to open things up.
Oh, he's spammed Doru. Doru's tagged down to 30 points of health through the wall.
Okay, so it's only my side apparently that the FPS is dropping, Nick. So that's good to know.
The dunk is going to come in from Adara, and this was a full buy round. And finally, Goliath have shown up for the most part. It's missed him left in a 1v5. We've seen him do it before. The question is, no, you can't do it again.
The question is, and you're not even going to give me the question. You just answer it yourself. All right, Mr. Moore, why don't you give Nick something to marvel his eyes at here? You've done it before, and I back you to do a bit of damage here. He's got time, and he's got the bomb on his back as well. So there are options available right now for Mr. as he just slowly makes his way back towards T-spawn, looking to potentially either wrap in middle, or he's going to go through towards ramp, and it seems like it's going to be the former. Still 38 seconds left here for Mistim to try and conjure up something. He has a flash and a molly, but as soon as he uses either of his utility, of course, that'll give his position away. And Adaro right now, he has his eyes trained towards Connector to make sure that there's no way that Mistim can get through. The question is, does Mistim hard clear Cat and find this kill and open up a way onto the A bomb site? No, he does not. And now he's been spotted, so I agree, Nick. Now his chances are over.
But look how much respect Goliath give him, right?
It's like, no guys, it's missed him.
It's like, we're going to stack 5 towards B, and then you don't go B early, and then we're going to rotate eventually. But missed him, he's still going to do some economical damage. He knows it's frail on the side of Goliath. And if he dies off the time, it's not really much to say, but they're still entertaining him. He's able to drop 2. Yes, he dies off the time, but he's still got $15,000 in the bank. So missed him is still chilling.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually a better result for him, even though he dies after time. The fact that he gets the 2 kills before he goes down, I think is more worth for ATK than it is for Goliath in the end. So, as you said, so much money on the side of ATK. They're absolute ballers right now. They're going to be able to buy it for the rest of the half, regardless of what transpires. And right now, it's the A bomb site. That's the name of the game. We haven't even seen one stock standard A hit from ATK. They haven't needed to go back to the A hit. But the double nade coming through, going to do a lot of damage. The flash as well means Massacre will find a frag, and he doubles it up on Doru as well. He does continue to hang around though. This is going to cost him his life. He's caught juggling between his knife and his grenade, and that means he's going to go down. ATK, they just need to put the brakes on here, Nick. They don't need to continue to commit because of the situation. It's a 3v3. There's still so much time, but they're going to make the decision to secure A. But Fady, he's just gone straight through the smoke. Smokes aren't walls, and his bullets do damage, man.
Fady says, I don't see smokes, I see opportunities. But now it's Canny left in a 1v3 turn 1v2. He is unaware of the position of all but one of the CTs, and he's made his position more than well known. Canny is traded up for the AK, trying to get something done. 36 points of health. And coming into the site, he gets 1, but Fady trades him out on the AWP. He's able to post 4. And ATK, they've posted 9 of their own. And Goliath, they've only got 4. Yes, they posted 1, but as soon as they get it, ATK come right back.
I mean, that's the biggest problem, right? If you're trying to make a comeback and you win a round, it's all good and well, but you need to string a couple together thereafter. ATK are on the cards for an 11-4 halftime scoreline here, Nick. And we've spoken quite a bit about the map already, but okay, let's see this aggression, if they can maybe overwhelm Fade. He's going to hear all the footsteps. He's only able to get 1, but the information traded is valuable. So, just to continue talking about the map a little bit, excuse me, I'm surprised that ATK haven't made Mirage more of a feature in their map pool just because of how solid they are on this map. ADM, are you giving me something to talk about here for a second, or can I just continue saying how good ATK are on Mirage? It actually seems like, Nick, I need to pay attention to the cast because somehow it's turned into a 1 versus 2 missed him. He had a 1v5 a bit earlier in the round, which is way too tough, way too tall of an order. 1v2 on the other hand, that is certainly doable, and he's being very patient right now, waiting for the opportunity. He does snap up Zips Up, but he doesn't realize that Massacre's in close proximity as well. But as soon as Mistim gets that kill, he just gets out of dodge, and he's looking to get around the corner in time. Massacre gonna jump spots, or at least see the information that there is no further presence from Mistim. What a genius.
What a genius, honestly. You should know that both of them are playing relatively close to one another so they can trade off one another. But Zips Up, he's just caught in a bit of an overextension. Missed him. He's going to get out and dodge, as you said, and get over towards the A-bomb sites. A Massacre, the question is, does he
He thinks he's double faking, right? He thinks that he's faking the fade away and then going to be coming back to B. But Mistim, he's already made the decision. He's on the A-bomb site.
Does he catch him with the cross?
No. Oh! Why is Mistim taking the fight? Oh, Massacre gets gifted an opportunity, the golden opportunity. And Mistim needed to actually just get out of there, not take the fight, plant the bomb, and then disappear in the 1v1 post plant. But Massacre secures the kill and keeps his team in the hunt here on Mirage 5-9 as we head into the final round of this first half.
Yeah, we were expecting it to be double digits at least, double digits and then some rather, from the side of ATK, but they've thrown away a couple of rounds. One of them was a buy round. Last round was a partial from the side of Goliath. They all had $2,000 in the bank. So now their buy is looking really good. They've got the AWP set out once again, and it's a buy coming out from ATK once again. But now, best case scenario for ATK, you're looking at 10-5, and we were initially looking at possibly an 11-4.
Yeah.
But like, Adaro, he's going to
9-6 even.
Doru. Exactly, yeah. So, like, Goliath, even though we're singing ATK's praises, we've got to give them some sort of credit for the resilience that they're putting up here. Massacre's been one of them to look for. Multiple double frags that are allowing his team to have a say in the round, and he's good for 2 of his own in this. Adara gets 1 onto Slowy, and just like that, we're looking at a 9-6 half, unless Blaze says otherwise it's a 1v4. We're going to see what he can get done, but it doesn't look like he can get much done.
Yeah, a late breath of life back into this game for Goliath Gaming as they string a few rounds together at the end of the half, unless players can pull off something magical here in the 1 versus 4 turn 1v3. They know exactly where he is now as well. He has a smoke, or rather a flash and a molly, and he actually gets the spray onto Adara with that last bullet. Nick's head's in his hands because he's thinking all of a sudden, is there some way that players can actually convert this into a round win for ATK with still 36 seconds left on the clock? Opportunities are plenty for players, and he's ready for more aggression to come from Catwalk. He's just making read after read right now. But Goliath, no, they can't give him an inch because he will take a mile. And Blaze is just waiting for the opportunity now, and he's been spotted finally. They know that he's in connector, so he has to force the issue towards A. And he's only got 16 seconds left, so he's going to be securing the plant share at the bare minimum.
He fakes it, really?
No, he's dead.
Doesn't fake?
Oh! Kani legs him! But he goes back with the USP. Jeez, that could have been super close. 6-9 as Goliath win 3 of the 4 last rounds in the half. And make it competitive. Definitely
make it competitive, to say the least, right? We speak about Mirage now, 50-50 of a map it is. So if you're a Goliath, especially when you were losing round after round after round, you're going to be pretty much happy with a 9-6 off, even though you won pistol and you converted, etc. 9-6 is, you should be more than happy if you're Goliath, especially if you win out the pistol round. You look at possibly a 9-9 scoreline, and then we definitely got a game on our hands, possibly as close to as we saw on Inferno. No massive deficit that one team has to overcome in this one, but we are going to see what ATK can get done on their CT side. And on their T side, you sung their praises on Inferno, that their T side was so good, but we're going to see what they can get done on their CT side as Blaze. He's going to get aggressive.
It's a fake though.
What's up with B?
You got the smoke and flash towards the A bomb sites, and he's going to be throwing that util in, but Blaze, he just pushes forward. He doesn't have a care in the world. He's able to get another one to Massacre as well. He's single-handedly undone the setup, and Mistim's already flanked through with the backstab. He's got a Daro rooted in the corner. He has no choice but to charge onto this B-bomb side, and he runs into the welcoming arms of Doru. He says, come here, baby, and he gives him a kiss on his forehead with the USP bullet.
10-6, kiss on the head with the USP bullet comes in, and ATK posts the double digits.
But that's so unfortunate because Blaze, he gets apartment control right, and then the fake comes through from Zipzip on that A bomb side. The comms come, okay guys, they're exiting A, so Blaze is like, cool, well, I'm just going to continue to push through B here and clear it up. Comes around the corner, he's like, oh, there's a couple people here. Takes off ahead, he gets out of dodge, and he gets a second kill. Madness.
Yeah, absolute madness. And this is just a full eco for the most part. But one thing you always say in your cast, which I 100% agree with you, is the purchase of a flashbang on
We see
eco
it, yeah.
rounds.
They've got the flashes.
Definitely going to be something to keep in mind. But missed him over towards under bulk. He's good for 3 on the spray.
Okay.
And as you like, missed him. He's going to clean up the eco round as easy as you like. No one from ATK falls, but now the full investment is going to come out from Goliath.
Yeah, first full gun round here of the second half. If Goliath dropped the ball here, 12-6, they eco 13-6, and that's where the half really starts to become a tough ask. So let's see if somehow Goliath can win this gun round. I mean, I say somehow. They actually have a very good chance of winning this gun round when you look at the weapons on the table right now for ATK. Two Famouses, 2 MP9s, and an M4. It's a bonus round of sorts because even if they lose this round, they can full buy in the next. So certainly a round that Goliath need to win, Nick, because if they can't win this round, how are they going to win against the AWPs and full rifles?
That's definitely something to keep in mind. How are they going to win against the AWPs and full rifles? But these MP9s are definitely going to be able to activate. One of them is going to be trying to make a play over towards Palace. Blaze, he's pushed very aggressively in that position. And Doru, he's going to be the other player over towards the ramp. And ultimately, it's just Goliath, rather. They've taken mid-control. But as I said prior, it's how do you go after take mid-control? Yes, you've taken mid-control, which is all good and well. I can put my bottom dollar on it that Fady's going to get ready to dry peek middle and get all the info that no one's there. And they're going to shift the rotates. They have this advanced position from Blaze in Apps, in Palace, rather. So... missed him rather, so he's got all the info when this hit does come in. The question is, how many does he get?
Yeah, they're not going to expect him yet, that's for sure. He's able to find the first, but the trade not actually instant. He finds the second onto ADM, and that is a back-breaking sequence for Mistim to find because it's left Goliath in such an awkward position. And look at this fast flank that's coming through. They're charging through T-spawn right now. The walls are closing in on Goliath, and I don't think there's a way for them to escape, Nick, as they try and get into the A bomb site, but the crossfire's already been set up. Doru, he's going to find the timing here with the MP9. He's able to get one as well. It's falling apart at the seams for Goliath. One of these players needs to stand up. They need to separate themselves from ATK, but they can't get the job done. Slowy and Fady find the frags. 12-6, and ATK win that gun round where they had far less superior weaponry.
And as you said, how are Goliath going to compete when you've got full rifles and AWPs? And now they've got 5 rifles, and 2 of them are AK.
Oh,
3
God.
of them are AK.
3 AKs.
One
in the
of
hands
them's
of
on Fady. One of them's on Slowy. The 2 best Mirage players in South Africa. So
and plays over the wall. You know, he's pretty, I'm sure you've seen his frag videos. Yeah, his YouTube videos. He can do a thing or two with the AK. He's proven it.
Okay, well, Slowy, the aforementioned, one of the best players in South Africa. He's able to clean up 2 with the AK reload. He's definitely going to go back for more. You know, everyone loves some good ecos.
Yeah.
Going to see Fady. He's going to hold over towards lowers, and the best players that we mentioned, they picking up all the frags with the AKs. It is just going to be a partial investment from Goliath. Just deagles on the side, so not really much to write home about.
Yeah.
But if ATK posts the 13th and win the next gun round, you're looking at 14. It's definitely going to be an uphill battle for Goliath.
Certainly is, Nick. As just take a breath here to welcome everybody to the Telkom VS Gaming Masters Season 5 Comic Con Playoffs. There are just 4 teams left competing in this stage, and they've got it all to play for. There's 180,000 Rand up for grabs between these 4 teams. And thank you so much for everybody who's joining us and who's here enjoying this fantastic game. Make sure that you join us for the next few days as well, right? Because we have DNMK versus Sinister 5 tomorrow at 1:30. A clash of the 2 incredibly closely contested teams. Really looking forward to that. Then on Saturday, we have the lower bracket final, which will be between the loser of this game, seeming ever likely to be Goliath, against the winner of the match between DNMK and Sinister 5. That is the lower bracket final on Saturday at 1:30. And then on Sunday, we have the best of 5 grand final, an absolute feast coming up. So like I said, make sure you join us each and every day leading through the next few days. It's going to be a phenomenal journey to be a part of. And there's going to be some fantastic Counter-Strike on display throughout.
Like, who doesn't love a good BO5 grand final, right?
Yeah.
Especially when there's 100,000 rand on the line.
And when it's ATK and Goliath butting heads as well.
Possibly, yeah.
Name a more iconic duo.
Yeah,
well,
exactly. Yeah.
Of 2020. We can go back in the past to name a few. You know, the energies and bravados of the past have always been great. But right now in 2020, this is the headline matchup. Goliath fighting for their lives right now on Mirage in the upper bracket. Final ADM. He has the angle and he's going to get the shot. Fady hung around there, or hung around for a bit longer than he should have. And he ends up getting taken down. So that's the opening frag Goliath so desperately needed.
Definitely, and that's something Goliath need to activate on, right? Yes, you got the opening frag, but how are you going to play off of that? It's all good and well, you making it a 5v4, but if a player's pushed apps on the other side of the map and got all the info, then you're going to be walking into 3 players regardless, and that's why ATK are choosing to try push the issue over towards ramp. If they get this info, they can choose to cheat or rotate over towards the other side of the map, but it does look like Goliath, they're just going to set up for this A hit to come in. Doru is over towards triple. He could be a pretty pivotal factor into this round, but Goliath, they've left a single player over towards B, just jump spotting. He's got all the info, so they're still going to be walking into 3 players on the A bomb sites.
Yeah, they certainly are. It's a tough ask to say the least. And look at this information that Slowy's got, and he's pushed through. And Mistim's also aggressed, and he's been able to find a frag or two, make that another one. He just continues to do the damage. My goodness gracious me, he's brought it into a 3v3, and off the back of that, Goliath are trying to get their way through, connect onto the safe bomb site. But there's still players aplenty here for ATK. They've got the man under bulk. They've also got Slowy, who's wrapping around through ramp. Yes, okay, at least they've dealt with the underbulk player. That's Doru who's been taken down. It's the man advantage, but the backstab's about to come through from Slowy. And that's when Blaze can activate, right? Now that the attention's been taken towards T ramp, this is the moment that Blaze needs to get into the equation as well. 2 versus 2. Flashes and mollies raining out right now as ATK has secure control of the site. They're trying to figure out exactly where these T players are sitting in the post plant, and they have both dropped back towards Connector. The bomb is planted for Connector. It's the perfect post plant situation, but the problem is they've already lost a player. It's only Adaro left in the 1 versus 2, and the defuse has been stuck. Oh my god, just nothing going the way of Goliath in this game, Nick.
Oh, Goliath, like, yes, that's the correct way to play it, but you got to be taking those fights together. You're just letting one player stick the bomb and one player just run you down and keep you entertained in that regard. So ATK, they're ultimately able to win out the 2v2 as easy as you like. 14-6 is the score. It is going to be another full investment from Goliath, but the question is it too late? Is it too late for you to beat out ATK for the first time in a long time? But you are going to see what they can get done. Fady over towards middle. He's hiding behind the mid-smoke, and he's able to win out that this non-stop aggression.
And he gets out. No, and Mistim finds a kill on Adaro. It's falling apart at the seams for Goliath Gaming. 14-6, it's a must-win round, and Slowy's taking down another one. Finally, Massacre's able to get back with the kill, but that just has to be the start of the sequence to get them across the line. He is able to catch Fady off as well. Finally, Goliath get themselves into a 2v2 that they should be able to get across the line, right? They've got the 2 mollies, the 2 flashes, and they should be getting the bomb plant. Lose this round, how do you win the rest of them from there? Blaze has been able to get the kill on Massacre. Again, though, they're just overextending, potentially over-peaking, taking fights they don't have to. Doru finds the last kill on Zip, and it is now 15-6, map and match points. ATK 1 round away from getting themselves in the grand final.
1 round away from not only getting themselves in the grand final, Hayes, but also that extra 7,000 smackaroons.
That's a lot of money, Nick.
I mean, I could do with 7,000.
I think that sponsors a night out for 4 people, to say the least, in Cape Town.
Or maybe like, yeah, especially in Camps Bay, you know, they're all chilling there besides Fady, unfortunately.
But wear your masks, right?
Yeah, exactly, wear your mask, be responsible. But, you know, Goliath, maybe they can mount up a 9-round comeback, but they need 9 of them in a row, and this round is going to go their way. ADM and Adaro are going to chime in for 2 of their own. Slowy over towards close ramp, can't get anything done. Finally. And it looks like Goliath are going to post their 7th.
Was it a 9-6 halftime scoreline?
Yeah.
It was, right?
Yeah.
Man, so it's been 6 consecutive rounds for ATK on the CT side. Finally, Goliath have been able to break the streak here in this half. They're going to be keeping all 5 players alive as well. So this is the start, the first step in the mountain that needs to be scaled, which is this 9-round comeback. This 9 consecutive round win comeback is what they will have to do to take this game to overtime. It just seems like too tall of an order, Nick.
every large mountain starts with the first step, you know, as the old saying goes. And Goliath, they've got the first step under wraps. They've posted the first T round, but the question is, can they post 8 after that? And ADM's even hunting, you know, he's feeling it. He's feeling it. He may be 9 and 18. Last map he was up there, but we're going to see what Goliath can get done. They have posted their 7th, the first of the T round, as Hayes was alluding to.
Yeah.
But they've got a much taller task on their hands than just posting 1 or just posting 2 or just posting 5. They have to post 8 in a row. And then some, and then 4 after that, and then possibly more if they don't post 4, and then it just carries on going on.
So basically, I've actually been on a cast with Ash, of course the owner of Goliath, in these sort of situations before, and it was the Sinister 5 versus DNMK game on Dust 2 when Sinister 5 were behind 13-2, and I said, Ash, what do you do in these situations? What do you say to your teammates to try and keep everybody in the game? And he said, you take it round by round. You don't look at the score at the top. You just look at each round as they are in front of you, and you focus and get the job done from there. So that's exactly what Goliath needs to be doing right now, Nick.
Yeah, without a doubt. Fadey's getting a kill through the smoke, and we're all just going to be watching Doru's dead body, because why not? You know, this is where all the action's going on. But ADM, it's him and 3 others against the 3 of ATK. Slowy, missed him, and Blaze, the ones that have been firing at full tilt so far this map. Besides that of Fadey, he's down in the grave, but they're going to try to push the issue over towards Connector. Is ADM. He's going to try to win out this gunfight, and missed him. He's going to be the one he's tasked to do so, but missed him. He wins that up, but all the Goliath players, they are going to be going over towards the A bomb site. The question is, do ATK have what it takes to finish this out 16-7? As all the Goliath players are pushing into the bomb site.
Also, director glitching us out here, Nick, making life very tough as Slowy looks to try and get a shot on the angle. He does leg the player, but the bomb plant has been secured at the bare minimum. 3 versus 3. Goliath Gaming have to secure this round to keep themselves in the hunt here in the upper bracket final. If ATK do complete this retake, they will secure themselves a spot in the grand final of Comic-Con Online. And it does seem like that might be the case, as already another player has been taken down. Adaro, the one player has been doing the damage for Goliath, has now been removed from the equation, and Kani goes down as well. It's just Massacre left in the 1 versus 3, and he's going to be able to find 1, but he goes down immediately afterwards. And it is a 16-7 scoreline for ATK, as they just use sheer brute force to get across the line on Mirage.
Ultimately, like, kudos to Goliath. Unfortunately, weren't able to win out the Inferno, and ultimately weren't able to win out your opponent's map pick on Mirage. But as you said, just brute force coming out from ATK. Just the straight up confidence that they take the Emduals with, the straight out confidence that they throw the Util with, they do everything with, right? You know, all the players, they're so confident with whatever they do, so that's ultimately why they're able to win out the series 2-0. And unfortunately, I asked you the question before, is today the day? Unfortunately, it's another day we go waiting, you know. It's another day, it's another ATK 2-0, but we got to wait until the next matchup between the two.
Yeah, we are, which there's a very good chance we see that matchup again on Sunday in the grand final, which would be a best of 5 between the two teams. And we got a best of 5 potentially coming up between these two teams later on in the week, but Goliath are going to have to fight their way to that grand final in the lower bracket final, where they will play against either DNMK or Sinister 5 on Saturday in that lower bracket final. Nick, what an amazing performance from ATK in this match, considering that first of all, the veto is a complete curveball. You and I are sitting with our jaws on the floor saying, are we about to witness Inferno? It actually goes the way we expected to go in the first half, with Goliath pulling ahead 11-4. But ATK, they show they still had what it took to be competitive.
Yeah, exactly what you said. Even though they went down 11-4, you were singing their praises on the T side. Able to win that out 16-14, pretty much not scraping anything off out deep in the strat book. They cleaned it up pretty respectively. Mirage, we didn't expect that sort of pick, but we thought it makes complete sense. The Vertigo games are getting ever closer, so ATK straight away from that pick, they ended up picking Mirage, and then win it out convincingly, right? 16-7, only dropping 1 round on the CT side, and ultimately clean up the victory 2-0. And unfortunately, today's not the day. Goliath, another day, another head on the pillow moment.
Yeah.
We got to wait for your opportunity to take on the heavyweights, ATK, and the South African scene.
I mean, at least right now they're going to be hurting, right? But at least they can take some positives away from that performance on Inferno. That when they do have things going their way, they can go further than going toe-to-toe with ATK. They can actually dominate them a little bit. On that T side, they look really convincing. So that's going to be a nice boost of confidence for Goliath Gaming. But coming into Mirage, it was just one-way traffic. Once ATK found their gear, I mean, let's not forget, they lost the first 3 rounds, and they only lost another 4 rounds in the rest of the map thereafter. So was a very one-sided performance there. ATK, as convincing as we expected them to be. They are now in the grand final of the biggest event of the year. A 210,000 Rand prize pool is what is up for grabs in total. Tomorrow, DNMK versus Sinister 5.
Yeah, I think it's definitely exciting times. Obviously, we can speak for hours and hours about that matchup. The 50-50, you know, the Rat Redemption from lately, you know, all that sort of stuff. But Goliath, they're not out of it, you know. They play the winner of that matchup tomorrow. And
Saturday. The winner of tomorrow's matchup.
Yeah, the winner of tomorrow's match. Yeah, so 100%. So I think Goliath, they're definitely not going to be down on themselves too much. Yes, you just lost to ATK, but you still have more than enough of a chance to meet them in the grand final once again. We're going to see another rematch, another best of 5 even this time. But tomorrow's matchup between Sinister 5 and Dynamic, it's going to be a juicy one.
It certainly is, guys. Just like Nick said, from his mouth to your ears, you're not going to want to miss tomorrow's game because of how fantastic it is going to be. But that's not everything just yet. Even though it's the end of the CS for the day, we still have some amazing content coming your way. We have interviews with the owners of both ATK and Goliath Gaming, which is Warren Barkhazen and Ashton Muller from Goliath Gaming. Guys, thank you so much for joining us throughout this afternoon. It's been a pleasure having you us with the CS game. Hope you guys enjoy the interviews. Learn a few things, because myself and Nick certainly did. Like I said, my name is Hayes. You can follow me on Twitter at HayesCastings. You can follow my esteemed co-caster here at Nick Bart as well. We will be seeing you tomorrow, 1:30 short. Please join us and have a great rest of your day. We are joined by the owner of ATK Arena, Warren Barkhazen. Welcome, Warren. Great to have you here, and just to get to ask you a couple of questions.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're in the house at Cape Town at the moment, and you had some company join you there recently. Of course, the CSGO team is moving down.
Yeah, they're here just for a bit, a couple of months. I'm in my house, so they've got a nice view. They're in Camps Bay. I'm other side of the mountain, so they're getting spoiled.
Okay.
But it's good to have them here.
Yeah, no, fantastic. So, I mean, this was always the plan, to have them end up moving together. Is this in preparation for them moving to the States sort of thing, so they can get used to living with one another?
Yeah, it would have happened actually a long time ago. Obviously, we know what happened with COVID. We had them in Dubai for a little bit where they were boot camping for the major. But yeah, this is the first time we had an opportunity to fly. Everybody can get a house, put them in, set up infrastructure and all that. So
yeah,
it's as you said, all in prep to get them to NA.
Don't you think it could have actually been a slight blessing in disguise, the way that the process has been delayed here, because it's actually allowed the team to build up and develop the synergy and the relationships with one another before they go overseas and they have the trial by fire in America?
Yeah, well, that was the plan. I mean, we had it mapped out. We knew what was in the pipeline. It was, at least a 6-month trial to see how they've worked together and ensure that they could survive by themselves. And yeah, so I would have liked it a bit sooner.
Okay.
And then I just wanted to ask, what are your expectations for, firstly, when they move overseas? Obviously, we've got VS Gaming Masters right now, but then what is the first step going overseas? What are you expecting from the team?
Yeah, look, I think they've had a pretty easy time of it locally. I mean, we know what the record is. They've been pretty dominant. They need to go across and get tested. I'm not expecting it to be easy, but we are preparing them as much as we can. We've got an international coach. They do a lot of prep work. I mean, Gareth is very committed, missed him, and it's good to see that they are taking it seriously. I mean, obviously, their first move to Dubai, I mean, we just literally whipped the team together, sent them off, and that was a real trial by fire. I mean, it was we had 10s in the team at that time. just to fill the slot. And now, yeah, they're going to go across as a full run together for a while. And I'm not expecting them to win anything major. I mean, hopefully they make an impact. I have a realistic expectation of 6 months before they really start finding their feet.
And the journey is still young, right? I mean, you guys, I know you're aiming for much higher than where you are right now, even though you are in multiple titles at the top of the game. International is the name of the game, right?
Yep. So the plan is, as you know, NA for the CS team. Apex Legends have done very well. They were in America. We flew them to the States in, I think it was March.
Yeah, I remember that.
And they were almost crying when they came back. They said it's just like a different game. So those guys will be going to Europe as soon as possible. Rainbow Six Siege, we're eyeing Asia for those guys. And there's some discussion about where we put the Fortnite boys, potentially the UAE, Dubai, or somewhere like that. So we'll see.
But yeah, lots of things on the horizon. Well, Warren, thank you so much for giving us some of your time, man. It's really cool to get an insight into how things are being worked in the background and whatnot. And look forward to seeing your boys on the server.
Awesome. Me too. Thanks. Thanks for having me.
Cool. Cheers, Warren.
Cheers.
All right.
Well, that is Warren, the owner of ATK Arena, and exactly what he had to say. Very interesting stuff, Nick. I mean, coming from an MGO owner, not often the things that we consider. He said some very interesting points throughout that interview.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think one thing that he did allude to is he spoke to smaller esports orgs and he said, maybe just for the first start, don't be an MGO. Just focus on one gaming title.
Yeah.
Get your footing there and then branch over. And that's exactly what he's done. He started small and then he's branched over, and now he's Fortnite, Rainbow Six Siege, CS, all the gaming titles. And now, as you said, they're going international, and ATK is really flying the South African flag high.
And that's exactly it. And then I think there's one other really important thing he touched on, and it was that don't run your esports organization as a hobby. Run it as a business, because it means you look at it with a completely different perspective, and the decisions that you make as a result of that massively change the way that the direction of the MGO is going to be taking. So I thought that was really interesting as well.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, if you're going to be in the esports industry, it's very cutthroat, like if you're going to slack off, someone's going to take your spot. So he said, if you're going to go into it, got to treat it as your full-time job. And if you take it with that case, we see where ATK is now, right? So if you take the same advice that Warren just gave the rest of the esports owners, I'm pretty sure we're going to have the South African flag once again flying high, with not only ATK flying it, right? There's multiple esports orgs that can still catch up the slack, and then maybe send a whole bunch of South Africans overseas.
Well, that's exactly what we want. They want the end goal, right? To have South Africa's name on the map. And like you said, not just have Africa grayed out as this massive continent on the map, which just doesn't get any exposure. So, guys, that was ATK, the owner of, or rather, that was Warren, the owner of ATK, and what he had to say about owning the org in South Africa. You thought we were done? Not just yet. We still have the winners interview. I jumped the gun a little bit there. We got a little bit of an opportunity to chat to the winner of the best of three between Goliath Gaming and ATK, which of course was ATK. I am joined by Mistem, and we're going to have a chance to just have a couple of words with him and see what his thoughts were on the game. So, there he is, your beautiful face. Hello, Gareth, and congratulations first off on that win.
Thank you.
Not a coasting by any stretch. You definitely had to work, in particular on Inferno, but the win is a win.
Yeah, for sure. I think, like just going into Inferno, we haven't played in a very long time. As you saw, it's like our Instaban. So going into Inferno, we kind of knew that our T side's very strong. So we were hoping for like a 9-6, 10-5 CT side, but we were down 11-4, so going into that T side, we knew they would win.
Yeah, you said you were looking at a 10-5 CT side because you were confident with your Inferno, but then you find yourself down 11-4. So I just want to get from an RGL's perspective, how was the feeling in the TeamSpeak when you were 11-4 down? I'm pretty sure the hopes are still high. Obviously, it's not your map pick, but you're 11-4 down and you're really battling against it. But how did that go for you?
I think as soon as we won that pistol round, like everyone just said to each other, like, we can do this. There was no yelling at each other or anyone being upset. We just fist pumped and we did our thing. And I could just call, and I was really focused on rotations on that map. And everything that I did, everyone listened, and we could just do what we wanted there to play into our game.
Let's go back to the veto, because how did you even end up on Inferno in the first place? Of course, you guys have been playing Vertigo quite consistently, and Goliath have been getting closer and closer to you guys on that map. So coming into the series, you decide to ban Vertigo and float Inferno. You must have known they were going to pick Inferno.
Yeah, we knew that they were going to play Inferno, so I did my homework on them and I knew what to expect. I don't think they expected the Inferno pick either. But like banning Vertigo, it's a map that they were getting closest against us on, so we might as well just go play a map that they're comfortable on, that we are prepping for. And yeah, at the end of the day, we won the game.
I have to ask you about Doru's monitor, bro. Like, Doru's monitor is so tilted. It's
more
so
tilted than Goliath right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wasn't the one that roasted anyone on stream, but I wanted to talk about your T side on Mirage. I assume it didn't go 2 as planned. Yes, you found yourself in a 9-6 half, but you were priding yourself in your T Inferno. But the CT side of your Mirage was pretty much spotless. You're only dropping a handful of rounds. What does that come down to?
Yeah, so our T-side Mirage, it was kind of a bit shaky. We overextended a lot of the time when we shouldn't have. I think they won quite a few clutches when we should have actually won, especially after plants. On our CT side, just going into the map, we know that it's very strong, if not the best in the country. Just the protocols and everything that we have on that map is very top tier, and it comes down to everyone in the team because we constantly playing on that map, and it's one of our best maps, so CT side is very strong for us.
You say it's one of your best maps, but you very rarely actually pick it. Normally you're going nuke, you're going overpass. Is Mirage just sort of that map that, yeah, you're very strong on, and you're just happy to float it and let other teams pick it because you know how good you guys are on the map as well?
Yeah, I think Mirage is a very good decider map, in my opinion. I think the reason why we float Mirage is it's one of our best maps, but it's also a very puggy map.
Yeah.
So teams that don't really have many protocols or are changing all the things can easily have hero games and then just win it. Like if we're playing a very good AWP where he can literally just keep peeking window or doing whatever he wants in the middle and destroying and disrupting us. So yeah. Mirage is a map that's very puggy, and it's not something we like to lean towards. But versus Goliath, they're a very structured team, so we know that they're not really going to be puggy, so that's why it was a really good pick for us.
Okay, cool. Well, Nick, any final questions for Gareth before we let him go?
You just got to ask Doru to put his monitor back straight. Like, there's something with
It's the technique, man.
Yeah, clearly it's working.
Okay, well, Gareth, thank you so much for giving us some of your time, man. Best of luck in the grand final on Sunday. I'm sure we'll see you in chat over the next couple days, but we'll see you again on Sunday.
Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, guys. Enjoy. Cheers.
That is the captain and IGL of ATK Arena, who just came off the back of a convincing 2-0 victory over Goliath Gaming, who is actually going to be able to have the final word right now because we have that interview with the owner of Goliath Gaming, Ashton Muller, which we're going to be playing now. But this is the final time now. I am actually saying goodbye for real. Thank you so much for joining us today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the Counter-Strike on display. We will be back tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 in the afternoon with a game between Sinister 5 and DNMK in the lower bracket semi-final, all to play for. It's going to be an absolutely cracking game. Be sure to join us and have a good rest of your day. We have got the owner of Goliath Gaming on the line with us, Ashton Muller, who has formed the organization along with a few other people as well, but certainly one of the main faces on the line. Welcome, Ash. How are you feeling on this fine Thursday?
I'm looking forward to some good CS. Thank you for the introduction, Hayes. And yeah, happy to be really keen for some good CS. I mean,
yeah,
I think it's the classic for the last, 10 years. I think it's been the VS Gaming build-up up until, the September, October, and this is the final event. This is what it all boils up to. So
yeah, I mean, predominantly throughout those years, you would have been grinding really hard right now in the server, getting ready for the events yourself. But of course, you hung up the keyboard and mouse. You took over the role of owning an MGO. What compelled you to start an MGO in the first place?
I mean, quite a few things really. I think the bottom line, I think, was always the fact that, the impact that CS had on my life. I kind of felt that I needed to do something that would kind of leave the scene as a whole in whatever way possible better than the way the way I found it. So that's one of the founding factors. Obviously, towards the end of my career, got to play all over the world, and got to play against some of the best players in the world. And even though I knew pretty early on that I wasn't going to necessarily get to that level, it felt like it was something that I wanted to be a part of, and hopefully one day be able to do and support someone that will be able to get there, take it to the next level. And I think the bottom line of every single, ambitious CS player from the Bovada guys, it's always been putting SA on the map, and I think that's just always something that has been a goal. And after being in those top tier like MGOs, just really wanted to kind of replicate that and help contribute to professionalizing the industry, and hopefully just help and contribute to something long-term sustainable and just build the esports scene, really. I mean, get to a point that we can all provide opportunities for future ambitious gamers to chase their dreams, man, and for it to be realistic for them.
Love it.
100%. And you say obviously everyone knows you came from that player sort of background. So now you've transitioned into an MGO owner. So I think it's definitely something big coming from players seeing you where you came from. You definitely have the same drive that the players do. And I think the players can definitely feed off something from that from you.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's a two-way street, right? Like, it's what fuels me as well. And when you take L's or we have successes, we share that as a team. I think it kind of relates back to what old Seb said, the two-time TI winner. It's play together, win together, lose together, slay together, slay together, slay together.
Nice.
And I think, so like even for me, like when if we don't get a desired result, it feels like I'm obviously heartbroken. I mean, it's my team, the brand, it's a business, you want the W. But at the same time, I think what like really gets me is like, I know how much it means to players. I mean, over the last 3 years, even teams before that, like, it's heartbreaking, man. It's what's the best feeling in the world. And I think, knowing what they want, how much they've put in, how much they're doing, how much this means to them, I think, that's what gets me going. That's what impacts me. And I mean, I'm here today to share whatever happens with them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously owning an org, like you said, it's a fantastic thing when it's at the top. What would you say some of the biggest challenges are that you've come across, starting the Goliath Gaming organization and trying to build it to the point where you want it to be?
I think a simple disconnect compared to the international scene between what we try to do, I think, in many aspects of the scene, and obviously brands that need to be involved to kind of support it and help it get where it needs to be. I think that obviously in South Africa we naturally isolated, naturally a little bit behind, and we spent some time trying to catch up. And I think trying to make people understand the value of what they're supporting and what we're trying to do in this space, I think is probably the most difficult conundrum. I mean, there's nothing in the world that's easy. Life's not fair, and ultimately you just got to try and attack those challenges. But I think those gaps are being closed. I think specifically in the last 12 months, I think even this year as well, I think everything from the content creators, everything from the people branching out into their own podcasts. I mean, we've got Nick here that's brand new, fresh on the scene, and he's busy interviewing me here for the main comp of the year. It feels like all elements of the esports scene that fit together have been improved. Like, players are improving in terms of what value they bring in. The brands are bringing the value or bringing the value to brands and keeping them involved. And I think overall, and as I'm a dying optimist, but I think everybody's stepping up in that regard. From TOs, all the elements are improving, and I think that's good to see.
So Ash, like, obviously it's Goliath ATK. So what is the next step for Goliath coming in after this Telkom VS Gaming Masters? What's the next step for Goliath in the pipeline?
Well, I mean, for us, we just carry on doing what we do. I think, obviously, look forward towards the end of the year. Now that restrictions and things like that have slowly been lowered, and it looks, and touch wood, but this COVID thing is kind of fall to the wayside. Hopefully, open things up, and we can see more events and more stuff happening towards the end of the year. And I think it's just bang out 2021 as best as possible. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Okay, Ash. Well, thank you so much for giving us some of your time, man. It was really great to hear your thoughts and just get some insights into the workings of Goliath and what you guys have lined up. And wish you guys all the best, man. You guys have definitely set a standard in South Africa, and just continue working at that. And keen to see where you guys can take things.
Yeah, appreciate that, and likewise, guys. I mean, I'm really looking forward to you two entertaining us and give it on. So I'm really looking forward to the game.
Okay, fantastic, guys. Thank you so much, Ash. All right, guys, that is the owner of Goliath Gaming, Ashton Muller, we had on the line, who said some very interesting things throughout the interview. Nick, you can see, like he said, he was a part of Bravado Gaming for a number of years. He then realized, and that set the bar for him, that set the tone for the standard of the organization he wanted to run. And I'm not surprised either, because Bravado was just such an incredible organization in South Africa. They were the pioneers for the longest of times, and that's where his inspiration has come from as well.
Yeah, I think 100% you got to allude to that. Like, we know what Ash has done as a player, and now he's coming into an org owner. He knows what he wants from the players. The players can go to him if they need something, because he's been in their shoes. He knows what's happened. So I think he's one of the people that, if you're a smaller org owner, you can definitely look up to him, go off his blueprints, and you can definitely make big strides in the South African scene. And Goliath, they're already flying the South African flag high, similar to what we said with ATK. I think Goliath, they right up there with the big boys, you know. So kudos to Ash and the rest of them, and you've got to give them props for what they're doing in the South African scene.
That's exactly it, guys. So that was Ashton Muller, the owner of Goliath Gaming, and what he had to say about running his org.